Welcome to this YouTube channel. In this video we are going to talk about the top 10 basketball players of all time. Before starting this video, like this video and subscribe to our channel for future updates. The NBA has been around since 1946, and we've seen some of the best athletes of all time compete on the floor throughout that time. There have been various styles of play that have spanned several ages. Shooters now dominate the sport, but the center position ruled the game only a few decades ago. Defensive dominance, sharpshooting snipers from behind the three-point line, deft slashers, and all-around godlike athletes have all been seen. With so many different skills, play styles, and levels of athleticism, skill, and coaching, determining who the best player of all time is difficult. Players such as Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Bill Russell can all be argued to be great for different reasons. In order to establish who is truly the greatest, we must look at stats, awards, what the era offered at the time, and what strengths and shortcomings each athlete possessed. The top 10 basketball players of all time are as follows. Number 10. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. What, indeedy, while Kareem scored a career-high 387 points, I can't ignore the reality that he spent a significant portion of his career receiving passes from two of the best point guards of all time, Oscar Robertson and Magic Johnson. His career totals were also boosted by the fact that he played in the NBA for about 10 years, or 20, for that matter. Regardless, he was a terrifying force who dominated the sport for 2 decades and created the sky hook, one of the most beautiful shots ever seen in the game. He was also hilarious in Airplane and fought Bruce Lee in Game of Death, so he has the highest cool factor of anyone on our list. Number 9. Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan is one of the NBA's most decorated players. The big man devoted nearly 2 decades to the San Antonio Spurs, helping them become one of the league's most successful franchises. Timmy has received almost every award imaginable. Duncan was a 15-time All-Star, 15-time All-NBA, 15-time All-Defensive, 5-time NBA champion, 3-time Finals MVP, 2-time MVP, and perhaps one of the best big men to ever step foot on the hardwood throughout his 19-year professional basketball career. Tim used his tremendously deep offensive arsenal to give buckets to every player who tried to guard him, despite the fact that he didn't have a flashy style of play. Nazr Muhammad, a 2-time NBA champion and Duncan's teammate, discusses how the Spurs great was one of the most tough athletes he had ever faced. Number 8. Shaquille ONeal. Shaquille O'Neal is on the opposite end of the attractive play scale from Duncan, where Timmy would use his great footwork to wiggle his way past an opponent in the post. Shaq would frequently use his enormous size, 7 feet 1 inch and 315 pounds, to muscle his way to the basket. Once there, he'd finish with a thunderous slam, a tried-and-true method that saw O'Neal lead the NBA in field goal percentage 10 times during his career. But O'Neal was more than just a physical force. He was surprisingly agile for such a large man, and his close-range jump shots were deftly executed. On the other hand, his free throw shooting. Number 7. Larry Bird. Larry Bird was one of the fiercest competitors and greatest smack-talkers in NBA history. Despite his humble small college origins and the nickname Hick from French lick, Bird had possibly the fastest release of anyone who had ever played basketball, and he'd frequently inform his opponent that the shot was going in as soon as it left his hands. In a 13-year career cut short by injuries, he won 3 championship rings and appeared in 12 All-Star games. Furthermore, during the 1980s, his rivalry with Magic Johnson, who, spoiler alert, you'll see a little later on this list, launched basketball to an unprecedented degree of national prominence from which it has never recovered. Number 6. Bill Russell. Russell was the most successful player in NBA history. In all but 2 of his 13 seasons with the Boston Celtics, he won a league championship. True, there were only 8 to 14 teams in the NBA at the time, thus winning championships was statistically simpler for a single team, but that fact doesn't diminish Russell's historic achievements. Before Russell joined the Celtics, the club had been together for 10 seasons and had never made it to a championship series. Russell, on the other hand, radically changed the path of the franchise in his first season, establishing the Celtics as the NBA's winningest team. He didn't, however, earn his spot on our list through some hazy, ethereal winningness. Russell was one of the best defenders of all time, and he revolutionized the importance of shot blocking while averaging 22.5 rebounds per game throughout his career. Number 5. Oscar Robertson. On November 24, 1938, Oscar Palmer Robertson was born. The Big O is an American retired professional basketball player who played for the National Basketball Association's Cincinnati Royals and Milwaukee Bucks, NBA. In 14 seasons, Robertson was a point guard who was a 12-time All-Star, 11-time All-NBA team member, and 1-time MVP winner. He was the first player in NBA history to average a triple-double for an entire season in 1962, the only player in history besides Russell Westbrook. He was a vital member of the team that won the Bucks their first NBA championship in 1970-71. Racism affected his sporting career, particularly in high school and college. Robertson is widely recognized as one of the best players in NBA history, a three-dimensional player who could score inside, outside, and as a playmaker. Robertson's rookie scoring average of 30.5 points per game ranks third among all NBA rookies, and he scored more than 30 points per game in 6 of his first 7 seasons. Only 3 other players in NBA history have had more seasons with 30-plus points per game. Number 4. Wilt Chamberlain. Chamberlain played during a period when post players were much smaller and basketball didn't attract the types of athletic wonders that it does today, but he was so dominant that he deserved to be in the top 5 regardless of context. Chamberlain holds the 4 highest all-time NBA single-season scoring averages in his first 4 professional seasons. On March 2, 1962, he set an NBA record by scoring 100 points in a game, a mark that is unlikely to be surpassed. In addition to his unrivaled scoring ability, Chamberlain was the only player in NBA history to average more rebounds per game, 22.9, than Bill Russell, 22.9. All while averaging more minutes played per game than any other player, 45.8. Chamberlain was not an All-Star once during his 14-year career. In 1970, when he was limited to just 12 regular season games due to injury, but still managed to lead his team to the NBA Finals upon his return. Number 3. Magic Johnson. Johnson's charisma was a big element in the NBA's tremendous surge in popularity throughout the 1980s. He was one of the most effervescent personalities to ever play in the league, but he was more than just a pretty face. Johnson's extraordinary death set the tone for the Showtime El Dada Lakers, who won 5 championships in his 13 years with the organization. Johnson, who stands at 6 feet 9 inches and is the NBA's tallest point guard, not only had the best assists per game, 11.2 number in league history, but he also had a fantastic all-around game. As a 20-year-old rookie, he famously filled in for an injured Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the title-clinching Game 6 of the 1980 NBA Finals. Oh, and while it has nothing to do with his ranking on this list, the fact that he has successfully fought HIV for over 2 decades helped to stigmatize AIDS through his high-profile advocacy, and launched a second career as an entrepreneur who opens businesses primarily in impoverished areas in the hopes of spurring urban revitalization is still incredibly awesome and noteworthy. So, Magic Johnson is a cool guy. Number 2. Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is widely regarded as the best basketball player of all time. Jordan single-handedly redefined the NBA superstar as a phenomenal athlete with a unique combination of fundamental soundness, grace, speed, power, artistry, improvisational ability, and an unquenchable competitive desire. As a phenomenal athlete with a unique combination of fundamental soundness, grace, speed, power, artistry, improvisational ability, and an unquenchable competitive desire, Jordan's unrivaled status was recognized by even contemporaneous celebrities. There's Michael Jordan, and then there's the rest of us, Magic Johnson stated. Following a playoff game in which Jordan scored 63 points against the Boston Celtics in only his second season, Larry Bird described Jordan as "There's Michael Jordan, and then there's the rest of us." Jordan, fresh off a gold medal victory at the 1984 Olympics, had a fantastic debut season in the NBA, winning the Rookie of the Year award. He averaged 28.2 points per game / third after Bernard King and Bird / 6.5 rebounds per game and 5.9 assists per game. He was also named to the NBA second team. Perhaps more importantly, the Bulls improved to win 11 more games and make the playoffs than the season before he arrived. Jordan scored 29.3 points per game in the first round, but the Bulls were defeated by the Milwaukee Bucks in 4 games. Number 1. LeBron James. Yes, the man many fans, misguidedly, see as the league's most overrated choke artist is, in fact, the best player to ever step foot on a court. LeBron James simply does things that no human being should be capable of. He's heavier than a significant part of the NFL's players, but he moves as fluidly as basketball's most nimble guards. Furthermore, he has not only dealt with the immense strain of being dubbed the Chosen One by Sports Illustrated as a teenager, but he has also exceeded the enormous expectations placed on him. As good as the previous players were, they never had to cope with the constant pressures of 21st century media, which James has handled admirably. James has averaged a Robertson-like 27.5 points, 7.2 rebounds, and 6.9 steals per game since the publishing of this list, and he did so against elite athletes rather than players who smoked cigarettes at halftime. Unlike the Big O, when people chastised him for not winning titles early in his career, they forgot that at the age of 22, he almost single-handedly led an overmatched Cleveland Cavaliers team to the NBA Finals. And, of course, as a member of the Miami Heat, he's won 2 championships and counting. He not only routinely accomplishes feats I've never witnessed before, but he has also continually improved his game to address the perceived flaws he was previously chastised for. What do you think about this video? Do let us know down in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.